1919 was an auspicious year in history. The First World War ended, ushering a drastic change in the world order. The Philippine Islands had been a U.S. territory for 2 decades and was promised independence under the Jones Law of 1916. Progressive reformers saw the country and its people as a major target for modernization, and education was its main weapon. 7 forward-looking Filipinas came together in 1919 to create a school where young women could gain the knowledge and skills that would make them modern women. Paz Marquez Benitez was the first president of the Philippine Women's College. Jose Abad Santos was its first chairman of the Board of Trustees. Francisca Tirona Benitez was the second president, and with her husband Dean Conrado, guided the school from a house on A. Flores Street to its iconic Taft Avenue campus. In 1932, the college became a university, making PWU the first university for women in Asia founded by Asians. It provided a space where innovations in education flourished, and young people were encouraged to be the best that they could be. For over 100 years, the Philippine Women's University has been known as a leader in quality education. In 1934, PWU moved into its main campus on Taft Avenue, and since the 1970s has been co-educational. Located in the heart of Metro Manila, it is easily accessible by public transport and surrounded by affordable housing. Today's PWU offers undergraduate and graduate courses in several fields of study. Its business and management programs are responsive to the needs of industry, using evolving technology for global competence. PWU graduates excel in arts and sciences, education, social work, and diplomacy. Its fine arts and music programs have produced outstanding graduates through a holistic education that treasures heritage as well as excellence. PWU has pioneered in fields such as food science, nutrition and dietetics, medical technology, pharmacy, and nursing. PWU continues to play an essential role in producing graduates who possess the skills that make them competitive in the country and anywhere in the world.
We are a united community.
We may not be blood related,
but we Patriots are one big family.
Being part of the PWU community strengthens us.
Through the years, we support each other through good times and bad times.
We Patriots always have each other's back.
It's a big honor to be part of a community that is open to the ideas of each other.
Drives us to excel and be the best version of ourselves.
That's the standard of excellence that we Patriots strive for.
I'm thankful that this community lets us be who we want to be.
We thrive because we accept each other for who we are.
And like a family, we treat each other equally.
Actually, PWU gave us a home and helped us to be a patriot in society.
We may have different individual drums and instruments,
but we march to the same beat together as one united community.
Do you want to march with our community of patriots?
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
I am a patriot.
Ladies and gentlemen, mabuhay! I wish you all a pleasant afternoon. Welcome to the Surviving to Thriving Webinar 2022, hosted by the graduate students of Hospitality Management of the Philippine Women's University. Please focus on your smartphone, laptop, or desktop computer because there is no better way to begin surviving than with a prayer, followed by the Philippine National Anthem.
di mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, buyat ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiin, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bakaw, may dilagang tulat, awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdiligig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidinig, lupa ng araw ng at ipagsintabay langit sa piling mo, aming ligaya dapat may mga ami ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Great afternoon, everyone. It is our pleasure to have all of you join us for this conference entitled Surviving to Thriving, Food Service Industry in the Philippines Amidst the Pandemic. For this conference, we have gathered distinguished hospitality professionals who will offer their important views and experiences in the sector. Please get your pens and paper handy for taking down notes, listen attentively, and just enjoy the conference.
I totally agree, Miss Micaela. This is going to be a lot of fun and exciting. Thank you very much for joining us today. You may share this conference to your social media platform, as they say, sharing is caring. And allow me to take this opportunity to formally introduce myself. I am JP Cabrera, a graduate student of the Philippine Women's University, studying Master of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management. And I'll be one of your hosts for today. Along with me is Ms. Micaela Icaza, a graduate student at the Philippine Women's University studying Master of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management. We will stay with you until the end of the conference.
Sir JP, thank you. I'm ecstatic to be your partner for today. Before we get started with the webinar, we'd want to go over the basic webinar etiquette and goals for today's event. The following etiquette should be observed in attending this conference. We highly suggest all our participants to have a pen and paper handy and taking down notes for your future reference while attentively listening to all our speakers. Second, if you have any questions or clarifications during the presentation or demonstration, you may want to type it in the chat box or comment section. The program host will bring them up after the speaker's discussion. And lastly, your thoughts, ideas, and suggestions are highly significant to the organizers. Please fill out the evaluation form. QR code will be posted towards the end of the conference. And here are the objectives for today's webinar. First, to analyze the best practices applied by the food service industry in the field of food technology, food safety during the COVID-19 pandemic. Second, to deliver information about the innovative technologies that the food service industry applied during the time of the pandemic. Third, to identify different coping strategies for the food service industry during the pandemic. Fourth, to create awareness to the future restaurant professionals on how to apply food technology in the cruise line operations amidst the pandemic. Fifth, to strengthen the awareness on food safety compliance for food service establishments while promoting the food safety culture.
Furthermore, if you have any questions or clarifications during the speaker's oral presentation, please type them in the chat box. We will be bringing in the questions following the speaker's presentation. Also, the organizers appreciate your ideas and suggestions. Therefore, we urge everyone to fill out the evaluation form. Following the conference, a QR code will be posted. Your certificates will be emailed to you after you have successfully completed the evaluation form. We are thrilled to have you here and wish you a warm welcome. We guarantee that this webinar will be entertaining, informative, and motivating.
Sir JP, I agree entirely with you. But before we get started on this much anticipated conference, please allow me to thank a few key personnel. Our University President, Mr. Marco Alfredo Benitez, Graduate School Director, Dr. Emerita Zornoza, and Dean of the School of Hospitality Management, Dr. Efremuel Jose Abellana. Our esteemed speakers, guests, participants, viewers, classmates, and students, we are very happy that you are able to join us in this conference entitled Surviving to Thriving for Food Service Industry in the Philippines Amidst the Pandemic.
I am very proud to tell everyone that this conference is brought to you by the Graduate School of Hospitality Management with the guidance of our subject professor, Dr. Efremuel Abellana, Cluster Dean of Hospitality Management at the Philippine Women's University. We are delighted to have our University President, Mr. Marco Alfredo Benitez, to deliver his inspirational message.
Dr. Felina Young, University Chancellor and SVPAA, Dean Prime Abellana of the PW School of Hospitality Management, our hardworking faculty, organizers of this event, dear students and guests watching on our social media platforms, good afternoon. Thank you to the organizers, our students from the MSHRM program for this opportunity, and congratulations for this webinar entitled Surviving to Thriving, Food Service Industry in the Philippines Amidst the Pandemic. These past couple of years have been very difficult for all of us. Because of COVID, we were forced to distance ourselves from family, friends, and colleagues. Businesses were closed down, our movements were restricted, education was disrupted, and we all had to struggle with new and unfamiliar ways to live our lives. The world has indeed been turned upside down by the global health crisis, but this upheaval has given us something very valuable, the rare opportunity to be a part of some great changes in our world. We are now slowly finding our footing again, but even as restrictions ease and the world starts to open up, we cannot expect things to go back to the way they were pre-pandemic. If there's one thing the past 2 years have taught us, it is how fragile our existing systems are. This is very true in the case of the food service industry, as evidenced by the number of jobs lost as establishments were forced to scale back or close down because of the inability to sustain traditional business models. The health crisis has rigorously challenged the status quo and has made it abundantly clear that we need to make significant transformations if we are to bounce back stronger and more resilient. Today, we find ourselves on the ground level of our new normal. Now, we have the chance to do things differently and steer towards something better. As the future movers of the food industry, you have the power to reshape and redefine the way the industry relates with other sectors of our larger community. How do we effectively address the long-standing issue of food waste and move towards a circular economy? How can we raise food safety standards in light of the renewed focus on public health and safety? What new strategies should we use to satisfy the changing demands of the post-pandemic consumer? How can we harness technology to streamline operations and increase efficiency? How do we recalibrate our business models to better contribute to local prosperity? This process of rebuilding starts with you coming together today at this webinar, then in the next few days in your classes, and in many days after that, to learn from past experiences, generate new ideas, collaborate, and figure out where we should go from here. The path may be difficult and it will probably take a lot of time and many tries before we get it right. But to borrow the words of British-American author and inspirational speaker Simon Sinek, progress is more important than perfection. Transformation is a gradual process, and the only way to achieve it is to start. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, and I hope this webinar will be a meaningful starting point for all of you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benitez, for gracing us with your presence. And now, we are thrilled to welcome our Cluster Dean of School of Hospitality Management, Dr. Eframuel Jose Abellana, for the opening remarks.
Thank you and good afternoon. I'm so happy with this webinar. We have so much attendees. I'd like to commend the men and women of this class, Katrina, the chair, and of course with your team, Queenie and Angelo, and all your classmates who are very, very good speakers, and they have now shared their expertise, their knowledge this afternoon's event. I'd like to commend you guys for your hard work, your dedication, and of course your efforts of having this webinar. Indeed, our objectives was met because of to analyze the best practices, deliver information about this innovative technology, identifying different strategy of food safety and food service industry with this pandemic, and awareness, and of course to strengthen our awareness. So again, thank you to the 5 speakers that we have today, your classmates. I really salute you guys. Thank you and good afternoon to all the attendees. Good afternoon and see you again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abellana. Good afternoon, Dean. To properly start this conference, may I call on Ms. Hazel Lauyan, Our technical committee had to formally introduce and welcome our first esteemed speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor to introduce to you our first speaker of the day. He is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Hospitality and Restaurant Management in Bataan Peninsula State University main campus. He also got his industry experience right after he graduated in 2012. He became a food service associate at Crown Royal Hotel in Balanga, Bataan. After a year, he was given an opportunity to be a human resource officer at Abilene Human Resource Services Incorporated. Quest for higher education has inspired him as he further moved on, and now currently taking his master's degree at Philippine Women's University main campus. Alongside with his master's degree, he is also taking up certificate in Christian ministries at Skyward Institute in the city of Balanga, Bataan. At present, he is a university faculty at Philippine Women's University Career Development and Continuing Education Center, Bataan. He is a national certificate holder in food and beverage services, cookery, bread and pastry, housekeeping, and events management. He is also an instructor in Faith on Fire Missionary School located at San Jose Nueva Ecija. In 2018, he finished campus ministry study at Asian Institute of Youth Studies held at Bangkok, Thailand. He serves as the South Luzon Coordinator under the National Chi Alpha Campus Ministry of Philippine General Council of Assemblies of God, and he is the newly appointed Christian Education Head in PGCAG Bataan section. Everyone, please do help me in welcoming our first speaker for this session to discuss Philippines food industry coping up with COVID-19 pandemic. A big virtual round of applause to Mr. Mark Anthony Igueco.
Hello everyone, mabuhay. I hope you are all fine and doing well. So before we begin our discussion, can you do me a favor? Can you describe what you are feeling right now while you are watching this webinar through an emoji? Can you please comment what you are feeling right now through emoji? I will wait for your response. Okay, so my topic for today is about the Philippines food industry coping up with the COVID-19. So let me share my screen. Okay, again, my topic is Philippines food industry coping up with the COVID-19 pandemic. So I just want to start my discussion with this beautiful verse from Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. It says that there is a time for everything. In life's reality, we are facing different circumstances that challenge our faith, our passion, and our skills. We are facing different season. Just like in the hospitality operation, we do have this term peak season and lean season. And through this season, we tend to adapt and strive against the changes that are happening in our industry. So COVID-19 brought the food service industry to a sudden change. Everyone in the industry were expecting a great tourist turnout upon entering the year 2020, but the opposite happened because of this pandemic. We may experiencing this very tough time, but this will come to pass because there is a time for everything. Our situation is not permanent. It will end sooner or later. Before we take deeply in the post-pandemic outlook of the food industry, let us look at the significant event that happened in our beloved country when this COVID-19 concern arise. So let's take a look with the COVID-19 timeline. So it first started on December 31, 2019, and the point of origin of this virus is Wuhan, Hubei, China, as per the World Health Organization. So on January 5, 2020, the Department of Health orders tighter screening of incoming travelers amid the mysterious disease from China. On January 30, 2020, the Department of Health confirms the first 2019 nCoV case in the Philippines, a 38-year-old woman from Wuhan, China. They are the traveler from China who came back here in the Philippines, and got positive during their travel. So in January 30, 2020, the World Health declares novel coronavirus a public health emergency of international concern. Hindi pa nila dinideclare na pandemic. This disease is just a public health emergency of international concern. Next, in February 1, 2020, the Philippines record its first 2019 nCoV death. I still remember this day. I still remember this date because I was in Baguio at Manor Hotel that time to attend my friend's wedding. And during those time, naghahanap kami ng mga face mask, naghahanap kami ng face shield kasi bawal kaming pumasok doon sa hotel hanggat hindi kami naka-face mask at naka-face shield. During those time, may mga protocol na ganon. But hindi pa nagla-lockdown. So on February 11, 2020, the World Health Organization announces COVID-19 or coronavirus disease 2019 as the name of the mysterious disease that came from China. So dito napangalanan na. Okay? So March 6, 2020, the Philippines confirmed its first case of local transmission of COVID-19. During March 11, 2020, this was the time where COVID-19 declared by WHO as pandemic. With this declaration, on March 16, 2020, President Duterte announced a month-long lockdown of Luzon from March 17 until April 12. They are just expecting that this virus will not last long. But in the opposite of that, in contrast to that, hanggang ngayon po nararanasan natin itong COVID-19 pandemic. So as I recall, binigyan lamang yung mga dapat umuwi ng probinsya ng 72 hours if I'm not mistaken para makabalik ng probinsya, makalabas ng Maynila, and then the lockdown will start. And during this time, the establishments will be closed, the restaurants will be closed, only the essential only the stores that can offer essential things and supplies to the public will be the one na i-open. And I will not forget this time I was in our school at PWUC DSEC Bataan, and it's very a sad moment to us na maghihiwalay kami at magtatrabaho kami sa bahay. And as we observed along the road, the people are having this so-called panic buying, and during this time very limited na lang yung mga face mask. May specific count ang pagbili ng mga alcohol, and during this time everyone is preparing for the national lockdown. Okay, so hanggang dito ko na lang tatapusin yung timeline. The rest is history, and until now we're still having the COVID-19, and we are coping up with the situation that happened severely, na medyo severe, extreme nung mga pagpasok ng 2020. But now, thank God that we can control the situation that are happening right now due to this pandemic. So with this, because of the community lockdown, many restaurateur, managers, and chefs were formulating a game plan to strive despite of the situation they are facing. They focus on these concerns. So let us discuss now, I will discuss now the effect of COVID-19 pandemic in the Philippines food service industry. Number one, they are concerned for the hygiene and sanitation of the staff of the restaurant. So the major goal of food service establishment, aside from gaining revenue, is also protect their customer and their staffs. That's why hygiene and sanitation becomes important. So nag-establish na rin dito ng mga ultraviolet rays, ultraviolet light. Nag-establish na dito na every 20 minutes the staff should wash their hands, should practice proper hygiene. Strictly observed yon nung mga panahon po na ito. So second is they observe the season of reset. So ano po ibig sabihin ng season of reset? They were focused on the things that they can control. Why? Because the control most of the time during the first quarter of the pandemic on the year 2020, nasa IATF. So kung anong sabihin ng IATF na procedure, ayun ang gagawin ng mga owners, ng mga chefs natin, ng mga managers natin. And again, it was strictly observed. So with this reset also, safety from the both side of customers and staff are manifested through the process that the managers are taking during those time. Okay, so number 3, room service becomes better than buffet. To apply the social distancing and limit the flow of customers, they tend to close their dining rooms and tend to deliver the food of the guests directly in the room with observance of the minimum health protocol. Next, cloud kitchen was introduced during this time of pandemic. The new avenue where the industry can still serve their customer while staying in the convenience of their home is this cloud kitchen. A cloud kitchen is a concept of commercial kitchen for the purpose of preparing food for delivery or takeout only with no dine customer. So pag sinabi natin cloud kitchen, this is a remote kitchen wherein kahit nasa bahay ka, you can offer food, you can post it in the social media, your customer can order it to you through online and you can deliver it to their home. Somehow, meron naman ding cloud kitchen that in the restaurant, in the restaurant, yung pinaka-kitchen, that would be the focal place, hindi na yung dining kasi bawal ngang mag-dining. So from that, doon ipe-prepare, i-cook, and ipapak yung food, and then it will be delivered to the customer. And as we observe when this pandemic strike, there is an upsurge demand with this kind of food service concept, that even the simple housewife can do this business in the convenience of their home. Next is the food safety. Next is food safety mostly rely on the preparation. With this pandemic, proper flow of food needs to be considered, and food safety is the major concern and the most of the kitchen staff rely on the preparation from purchasing. They clean the ingredients thoroughly and make sure that the person who will handle the food wear proper attire and will use right kitchen equipment to avoid food contamination. Okay? So next is delivery will be the new normal. During the pandemic season, nung yung lahat ay nasa loob lang ng bahay, yung delivery naging bagong trend ng food service industry. So with this new trend, the challenge that the chefs or manager is facing is this: how their food will still remain in quality during delivery time. Papaanong yung bulalo ay magiging bulalo na mainit ang sabaw, nalalapag sa lamesa ng nag-order sa kanila nang hindi nasisira yung quality during delivery time. So, because of this concept of delivery, they tend to improve their packaging because packaging is very important, and also the sanitation protocol. Okay? So meron tayong mga nakikita during this time na they can deliver milk tea in a cooler box, no? They can deliver milk tea, and also yung mga parang insulator bag na tinatawag natin, in order for the soup to be that hot, para hindi mawala yung mainit na sabaw o yung pagkainit ng pagkain, nilalagay nila yon sa mga insulator bag. Okay? So next, game plan is important. So game plan is important. With this, this is the principle of do not jump in if we are not sure where we get into. Okay, do not jump in if we are not sure where we get into. The chefs and managers, also the owner of the restaurant, have a bullseye principle wherein they can make sure that every step of the way was planned and will lead to customer satisfaction and revenue. In this time, they are not focusing on the competition but survival. During the time of the first quarter of pandemic, I was attending webinar with regards to the plans of the hospitality industry during this pandemic and the post-pandemic plan. May isang chef ang nagsabi, I forgot the name of the chef, and he said that they are now focusing on surviving, more on surviving rather than competition. At kung ano yung pwede nilang gawin, kailangan every step of the way bullseye. Hindi pa pwedeng magkamali. Okay? So next is takeaway becomes the most profitable. It becomes prevalent and accessible because most of the restaurants have not yet approved to have dining in the first quarter of the pandemic. So if you have a car, you can drive through and take away the food. And with this, change in new business model becomes in the mind of the owners and the managers of the restaurant. There is a change in the new business model to revive the financial health of the company or establishment. They need to adapt with the situation to survive, to help their staff to continue their employment while serving their customer. And also, during this time of pandemic, restaurant science becomes essential. So what is restaurant science? It becomes important because of the loss of seating capacity. So walang pwedeng mag-dine-in eh. So kailangang mag-change mag-formulate ng menu offerings. So for example, nakita ko sa restaurant na to, sa Max's restaurant, that they formulate a menu na hindi nakatulad ng menu nila noon, yung menu nila ngayon. And most of the menu nowadays are through QR code. At hindi na yung menu card na binibigay sa atin. Most of the menu are in QR code or in picture type na pinupost sa kanilang mga pages or website. Also, in this time of pandemic, upskilling of the staff is important because trust is important, not just a great food. That's why the managers trained their staffs on how to handle food from purchasing to preparation and packaging. Meron tayong mga restaurant dito sa Pilipinas na even the kitchen has a live streaming in their page in order for the customer to observe and see that the food that they are offering are safe and they maintain the quality of the food that they are offering. Okay, and lastly, we do have the menu engineering. Menu engineering is about maximizing profitability by promoting the most profitable menu items. On the adoption in the pandemic, many of the restaurants created a ready-to-cook or do-it-yourself kind of menu so that the customer can have their favorite cuisine in the comfort of their home. Dito po sa Bataan, meron ako nakikita na do-it-yourself shawarma, do-it-yourself milk tea, do-it-yourself burger. May isa akong favorite na ramen restaurant. They have this package of do-it-yourself ramen. So that is for the view of menu engineering. And lastly, they have the prediction as a prediction last 2020, the restaurants will have its rebound in 2 years. And as we can see it's now happening. And the rise of cloud kitchen will remain a good concept of food service industry for a lifetime. So yung concept po ng cloud kitchen, mananatili na yan hanggang sa dulo. Ano po? Because many people are tend to be convenient in online ordering and delivery. So with all of these things that are ongoing, ginagawa na po ngayon ito during this season, punta na po tayo ngayon sa post-pandemic plans. Okay? So let us take a look at the post-pandemic outlook for the food service industry and in Asia. Siyempre, kasama po yung Pilipinas dyan. As this pandemic continues, the game plan of the food service industry also continues in adoption, evaluation, adjustment, and innovations. Let's take a look at the different post-pandemic outlook for food service industry in Asia, including the Philippines. So this study is from Kearney.com. So How does this business under the food service industry thrive in the upcoming years along with the pandemic? In this statement, it says COVID-19 has been the worst crisis to hit the food service industry in the post-World War II era. In 2020, the Asian organized food service market shrunk 25 to 30% to about 925 billion. Some countries, including India, Indonesia, and the Philippines, were even more severely impacted with a 35 to 40% decline, either because of strict government regulations or customer continuing to eat at home even as lockdown lifted. As sales plunge, widespread job losses and permanent store closure of more than 20% occurred across the market. So let us take a look how the food service industry thrive in the upcoming years along with the pandemic. So number one, less in-store dining will push food service companies towards smaller stores accentuated by cloud kitchens and more online to offline takeout. As we transition from pandemic to endemic situation, people tend to order more online but staying close to home. As we can see in this figure, in customers' preferences for where they dine have changed since the pandemic began. 50% have retained preference. They want to dine out in the pre-COVID and post-COVID. 6% switch to dining out, ordering in to dining out. 34% switch to eating in, dining out to ordering in. Pre-COVID, they want to dine out, but post-COVID, they want to order in. 10% retain preference in ordering in and ordering in the pre-COVID and post-COVID scenario. Okay, with this, the study shows that many people wanted to have wanted to order inside their convenience, inside their comfort, and that is their home, rather than to dine out in the post-COVID season. Number two, post-pandemic outlook, aggregators will start to dominate the food service ecosystem as they expand their value proposition and build their own cloud kitchen network. Aggregators, by definition, facilitate orders and provide customer support. They act mediator between customers and local restaurants, offering access to various cuisines through a single website or smartphone application. So as we can see, we do have a lot of food ordering app in our phone, in Google Play Store or iOS. You can download different food applications. So those are the aggregators. They stand between the customer and the restaurant. They are the ones who get the order and they are the ones who process the delivery of the orders. As we can see in this figure, there are many areas that needs to be strengthened when it comes to the restaurants and the end customer. As you can see, the purple one are the areas to be strengthened, and the gray one are the areas currently owned. So next is a digitalized customer journey, and back-end digitalization will drive customer centricity and operational excellence. So the challenge of giving customer satisfaction is far more than the food itself. But the process of ordering it, from the ordering experience and customer relation services, this becomes addition to the evaluation of customer satisfaction. Dati nung walang pandemic, pag pinagsilbihan ka ng waiter, pagka pinagsilbihan ka ng mga hospitality or restaurant staff, na-evaluate mo na sila. Pero during this time, simula sa convenience na binibigay sa'yo ng online ordering app, up to the customer service if you want to have if you want to ask question or you do have concerns with the food that you've ordered or with the restaurants, up to the delivery, those are the factors that gives satisfaction for the customer. It's not just the food, but also the ordering experience, the customer relation service, the delivering experience. Those are the things na nakasama na ngayon na masasabi natin na nakakapagbigay ng customer satisfaction. As we can see in this figure or illustration, these are the customer-facing digitalization. So the technology will change the face of customer satisfaction. We can see the QSR selection, then browsing the menu, order, payment, then the preparation. As you can see in the preparation, ang bagong trend ay automation and robot chef. Okay? And then also we do have service. It can be delivered through drone or robotic delivery. Yan na po yung post-pandemic outlook natin. Dining in a digital platform and loyalty can, with this program, it can boost the loyalty of the customer. So, sa mga susunod pang topic na mapapakinggan nyo, mas ma-explain itong mga bagong mga pandemic outlook sa food service industry. Okay? So, next is brand perception will be led by trust built through proactive communication and transparency around safe and healthy food sourcing and handling. We already know that in digital platform, fake news are there, bogus people are there. So nag-create tayo ng brand perception through proactive communication. Proactive communication through digital platform will be the great medium to build the trust of the customer and increase sales because of good reviews from a satisfied customer. So, kung titingnan natin dito, yung COVID impact, mas mataas ang tinitingnan ng mga customer when it comes to health and safety. Mababa na yung sa taste at mababa na lang din yung sa prices. During the pre-COVID, the first thing, kaya pumupunta yung customer sa isang restaurant is because of the taste. They want to experience the taste. They want to experience the famous cuisine. They want to experience the service also. Pangalawa yung price. It can be reasonable, it can be cheap, it can be expensive. Pangatlo na lang yung health and safety. But during the post-COVID-19, first priority and motivation that drives the customer to go on a restaurant is its health and safety factor. Pangalawa na lang yung taste, pangatlo na lang yung price. Okay, so next, number 5. Food service companies will have to tackle a fundamental business reset and strategically reinvest to thrive in the new world. The companies should try different strategies as they are in the coping process. There is no time to stick on what they have, but they need to continually formulate different techniques to thrive as they are in the surviving season due to the effect of COVID-19. And lastly, the food service industry will become more consolidated and aggregators will take a larger share of the business. So finally, the pandemic experience make the food service industry strong. They are consolidated as they strive and thrive along with the new partners, which are the aggregators. Okay, so with this, I want to end my talk or my discussion with this Bible verse again. It says in Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11, He has made everything beautiful in its time. In the beginning of pandemic, my students were asking me, Sir Mark, what will happen to us? What will happen to our future? Can we still work in the hotel or restaurant or in airline or cruise ship? And my answer to them is yes, definitely yes. We Filipinos are not quitters because there is a saying that quitters never win and winners never quit. As I end my presentation, I want to encourage you, our dear students, that there are still a bright future waiting for you after you graduate. And as I said a while ago, this will come to pass because God will make everything beautiful in His time. And that time is now. Again, thank you so much for listening. Keep the faith, keep surviving and thriving, and God bless us all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sir Mark, for imparting us the knowledge to rise above, especially these trying times of pandemic. In this segment, may I call on Ms. Celeste de la Cruz to deliver the question.
Good afternoon, Sir Mark. We've all heard about Ninong Rai, Chef RV, Panlasang Pinoy, who inspired people to take on the cooking challenge and make a business out of it. In your opinion, will this effect persist in the industry?
Thank you so much for that question, Miss Celeste. Yes, it will persist to the industry because just like what I've discussed about cloud kitchen, it will be the new concept of food service industry. Wherein, kahit nasa bahay ka, pwede kang magluto, promote that in the social media, and then through online ordering, the people or the customer can reach out to you through the messenger, and then you can prepare their order, and then pwede mong i-deliver yon through the different delivery partners that are available, or even you yourself can deliver it directly to the customer. So many viewers of these bloggers are housewives or young people who were in their house with their gadgets, and it's good that through this platform the people are being educated and challenged to put up even small business. And this shows that the food service industry are becoming more flexible and more convenient and more available to the customer. I hope I answer your question well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sir Mark, for imparting us knowledge in Philippines food industry coping up with COVID-19 pandemic. To present their certificate of appreciation to Sir Mark, may I call on Mr. Roy Caborles from Technical Committee.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. To award this certificate of appreciation to Sir Mark, let me read the citation. Philippine Women's University School of Hospitality Management proudly presents this certificate and plaque of appreciation to Mark Anthony Iguico for sharing his time and expertise as the resource speaker for the conference entitled Surviving to Thriving Food Service Industry in the Philippines Amidst the Pandemic. Given this 4th day of March 2022 at the Philippine Women's University, Taft Avenue, Manila. Signed by Dr. Ipramuel Jose Avellana, Dean, School of Hospitality Management. Again, our honor and privilege to hear from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Cabarles. Once again, a big round of virtual applause to Mr. Mark Anthony Iguico. We are very honored to know more about the Philippines food industry coping up with the COVID-19 pandemic. May we hear one last time to Mr. Anthony for his message to our fellow industry friends.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and it's my great privilege to be one of the speaker. I hope that you learned something from what I've discussed today. God bless you all.
Thank you, Sir Mark. And now for our second speaker, may we call in Mr. Ryan Christian Alonso from Marketing Committee to introduce the second speaker for today.
Thank you very much, Sir JP. Moving forward, our second speaker, who will discuss quality and food safety. He is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management year 2016 and took up units in Education year 2017 at the University of the East Manila. He passed his licensure examination for teacher last December 2019. A former manager in McDonald's Philippines from 2019 to 2020 that is certified in ServeSafe. Then, when the pandemic happened, he started his journey in BPO as an agent and now promoted as a team leader. This speaker has experience in the food industry and managing customers. So, in this instant, please welcome Mr. John Michael Timosa.
Good day everyone, my name is John Michael C. Timosa and I'm going to share with you my experience as a shift manager for when I used to work at McDonald's a couple of years back. And right now, since pandemic happened, I'm currently a team leader in the call center industry, handling local and email and chat support. So without further ado, I'll just be sharing to you my screen. Okay, so for my main topic for today, it's all about food safety, practices and protocols amidst the pandemic. Okay. Before we start, we first need to know the definition of food safety. And I know everyone knows here that there's a lot of different interpretation of food safety. But for me, this is what I can say to you about food safety. So food safety is about handling, storing, and preparing food to prevent infection and help to make sure that our food keeps enough nutrients for us to have a healthy diet. So in short, food safety is a practice that we need to do in order for us to get the nutrients that we need and eliminate any factors that might hinder us from getting the nutrition and also making ourselves, our body, sick or have illness. As you can see here in the picture, food safety with the word itself is in the middle, and there's a lot of things going on around it. There's allergen, biological hazard, all of those words we will tackle in a few slides. Okay. And before we proceed to the next slide, I like to share with you a short TikTok clip. And again, this video is not mine. I just got it from TikTok and credits to the owner. Okay. Okay, as you can see here, this is the typical setup for what we need to do before we start our shift in the food service industry. All of the protocols, all of the materials that we need to do to ensure that our handling of food will be efficient and also safe for our customers, because that's our main goal here in handling food in the food service industry. Okay. Okay, so for the first topic here, it's about food safety hazards. When you say food safety hazards, the hazards that you usually encounter in your food And that's what food safety will prevent from happening. Okay, so we have here three types that we usually encounter. One is biological, second is chemical, and the third one is physical. When we say biological, it's all about bacteria, viruses, parasites, and molds. So in short, ito yung mga pathogens na pwedeng dumapo sa pagkain natin. And alam naman natin ang effects ng mga pathogens. When you try to eat mga panis na pagkain, that's what will make you sick. And that's what we're trying to prevent in food safety when we do it correctly. Okay. And the second one here is chemical, man-made chemicals. Some examples here are pesticides, processing chemicals, drug residue, and allergens. Okay. So in short here, chemicals, ito yung mga ginagamit natin sa paglilinis or mga pangpuksa ng mga insects. And we all know the adverse effects that if we ever accidentally ingest even a small amount, let's, for example, pesticide, it's really lethal. Sometimes it can do so much harm to your body. So what we need to do here is we need to prevent it by giving all of the labels. For example, for pesticide, we need to be clear that this spray bottle is all about pesticides. This is for sanitizer. This is for alcohol. Because when we're in the real world and we're in the process of operating a restaurant, especially the production area and the kitchen, may mga chances talaga na sobrang bilis ng galawan ng mga tao and mamaya hindi mo napansin yung kinuha mong bote, hindi pala siya bote ng suka, di ba? Bote pala siya ng sanitizer tapos napakain mo, nalagay mo sa ingredients at napakain mo sa customer. So yun yung mga pinaprevent natin here sa food safety, yung mga hazards na pwede bigay ng masamang epekto sa ating katawan. And the third one here is physical. These are yung mga pwede mong yung mga bagay na katulad ng bones, pets, bugs, glass, metal, and hair. Ito yung mga iniiwasan natin sa mga pagkain natin. Siyempre at lalong pwede natin siya makita. I remember one time back in college, kumakain ako sa isang fast food restaurant. Morning siya. Then I accidentally found out na may hibla ng buhok. As in, parang sa babae siya kasi mahaba. And for me, I'm not maselan. Hindi naman ako nandidiri kapag makakita ko ng ganun. Pero siguro sa ibang tao, parang it's a no-no, hindi nakakainin siya. But for me, nakakain ako ng ilang subo. Then what I did, as a student pa naman before, I went up to the counter area and asked for a manager and explained what happened. And I think they took it positively, that they were glad that they got this feedback and that they were going to correct what happened, the mishandling of the food by the crew. And what the manager did is that she or he gave me another set, a new one. And fortunately, wala naman na siyang hair na nakita ko so far. And one thing na nakita natin on the first part of the presentation is allergens. Kung maalala siya dun sa picture. So what are allergens? Allergens are naturally occurring substances in food. In some individuals, they are perceived by their immune system as a potential threat. Even though it is entirely harmless, allergic reactions can be perceived as an overreaction of the immune system to harmless substances. In short, ito yung mga bagay na allergic tayo. I know marami din tao or some people have allergies sa mga nuts or sa mani, others sa shrimp, sa crustaceans, also sa mga dairy products. So I'm gonna give you a short clip, again, a TikTok video. The video is not mine. It's an example of how this food establishment do their separation of cooking foods to ensure that there's no cross-contamination and also to prevent allergens from going to customers' food. Okay, let me share this one. Okay, as you can see here, the crew person is also checking for the quality of the oil. So the oil is good. And now he's going to cook your favorite chicken nuggets. Okay, so it's loading it in the basket, shaking it. Okay, as you can see here, it's a huge machine. It's called like a vat. It's for frying foods, and you can notice it that the chicken nugget has a specific area for the vat. It's not cross contaminating other part of the vat. And once it's been cooked, it's going to go to a prepared. Okay, so in that short video, you can see that the crew person was cooking the chicken nuggets in a specific area of the vat, not cooking it in the fish area, not the pork, not the beef, not the fries, only for the chicken nuggets. Okay, and there's a top 8 allergens in the as you can see here, we have milk or dairy products, wheat, soybean or soy-based products. Some people are also allergic to soybeans. Shellfish and crustaceans, peanuts, eggs and poultry products, tree nuts, and also fish. So in my experience before in operating a restaurant, we also have like a fish sandwich, and usually it's a lot of it's popular to our elderly folks that it's in our restaurant. So in my experience before, I thank God I didn't got any negative feedback or anything that's going to give our restaurants a bad reputation because we're following the standard operating procedure. If we're going to cook a fish sandwich, it's going to be cooked in its own personal space in the vat or the frying machine. And if ever we're not going to cook it in another part of the vat for the chicken, but if ever instances that the specific portion of the vat for the fish is not working or it's been damaged, we can do is we can cook the fish patty like in the oil of the chicken, but with an exception that after we cook the fish patty in the chicken vat, we will going to filter the oil and change it since we're practicing the allergens. We need to control everything. So if ever that's gonna be the case, we will just do this one time and immediately we're going to call the technician who is going to fix the vat. And hopefully next time it won't happen again. But if ever that happen again, we will just do like this plan B strategy for just cooking the fish patties. Okay. And we all know that every restaurant has like a food safety audit. It's when we try to measure the quality or the process that we're doing to keep the food safe for our customers. And we also need to do is we need to hire like a third party food safety auditor. It's because it's not being biased. We just need another opinion, outside opinion, so that they will also see that the employees, the managers, everyone in the restaurants is following the right process and procedure. Okay, so what is a third-party food safety audit? A third-party audit is when a food business hires an independent auditing firm to complete a food safety and quality assessment of their operations. While many food businesses conduct internal audits on their own operations, enlisting an outside firm maximizes the likelihood of an unbiased assessment. So in my previous experience here, yung food safety auditor namin, we have like a food safety manager. And he or she will also try to manage to check our food safety every day or every shift. Then once in a while, magugulat na kami biglang may lalapit sa amin na parang, sir, taga food safety ano po ako, mag-audit lang po ako. Then, ayun na nga, titignan ng food safety auditor na yun yung paano kami magluluto, paano kami maglinis, paano namin ginagawa yung mga preparing the foods, how we give it to the customers. So far, wala naman kaming sobrang bagsak. Like, it's a passing score naman, 90 plus, I think, before. And in the future, yung mga future hoteliers natin dito, if you're willing to work in the food service industry and also in the hotel, in this hotel part of our industry, mararanasan nyo to, especially kung employee kayo dito or manager. And this is some of the things that I usually do before when I'm starting my shift and ensuring food safety in our operation. So food safety and occupational health practices, hindi lang siya safety para sa pagkain. Siyempre, kailangan din natin maging safe yung mga tauhan natin. Siyempre, sila yung gumagawa ng pagkain. Dapat meron din tayong mga processes and ginagawa na SOP para safe din sila while inside the premises of the restaurant. So here are some examples. So we clean equipments every 4 hours to reduce pathogen growth. Okay, using disposable gloves, using color-coded tongs for specific food, wash hands every 1 hour, wash hands when doing another task. Kapag magtatapon ka ng basura, habang nagluluto ka, syempre, iwas cross-contamination. Kaya maghuhugasan lang tayo ng kamay ulit, just to be safe. Using approved chemicals from accredited sources, maintain hot foods hot and cold food cold, color-coded towels for specific ref operation para iwas cross-contamination din. Yung pamunas para sa vegetables, hindi mo siya ipupunas sa bandang mga raw na karne. Para din, kaya nga segregated sila para at least hindi sila magkakapalit-palit. And mabilis natin malalaman kung para saan yung towel na to based on their colors. And also, yung pinaka-favorite natin na word since first year college tayo, FIFO, first in, first out, yes. Kahit graduate ka na ng HRM, mararanasan mo pa rin si FIFO. And especially, ito yung lagi natin sinusundan din when it comes to our operations of food service. Kailangan ma-check natin yung use through date or yung expiration date ng pagkain. Kapag dapat kung ano yung una mong tinago sa storage, yun din dapat yung next mong kukunin para hindi siya maglalapse kasi sayang din siya for cost and also ayaw din natin magsayang ng produce, ng products, ng raw products. Employees are certified in basic hygiene and safety, food safety logbook, using food thermometer para ma-check natin internal temperature ng food natin. Since baka mamaya hilaw siya, alam natin it can cause harm kapag kumain tayo ng hilaw na karne. Fire extinguisher around the restaurant in case of fire. Checking the whole restaurants every shift. First aid kits inside the store and emergency number listed. Okay, these are some of the examples that I do before COVID happened, and right now this is the new practices that my fellow managers that's still in our store before is currently doing. Okay, so this is the updated food safety during COVID-19 pandemic practices that they're doing. As you can see here, we have using a face mask inside the restaurant and outside, using an acrylic barrier to prevent spread of virus, temperature scanners, put that to sanitize shoes before entering the restaurant, cashless payment is being encouraged, indoor dining limited based on IATF regulations, al fresco dining being encouraged, eating outside the restaurant premises, delivery through in-house or third-party app for less contact, yung mga mahilig sa food, Panda and Grab, pag papadeliver. Physical distancing inside the restaurant, contact tracing form, yung mga form na lagi natin sinusulatan ngayon kapag kumakain tayo, kahit pupunta tayo sa mga supermarkets. Vaccination card, it's a must. And disposable utensils. As you can see, based on my experience also in yours, mapapansin nyo din na most of the food service restaurants ngayon, hindi na din sila gumagamit ng mga spoon and fork na yung pwede natin yung mga reusable. At saka, para din safe yung mga kumakain, disposable na din talaga para iwas hawa ng COVID-19. Siyempre, hindi natin din nakikita si COVID, kaya mas magandang safe na lang. And less time kasi ang Google kapag disposable yung utensils na ginagamit natin habang kumakain. Okay, this some of the examples, yung mga makita natin sa restaurant. Bath, disinfected footwear, sanitizing your hands. Pagpasok natin, may magbibigay sa atin ng spray ng alcohol, temperature, checking, and also yung acrylic barriers. Kapag nag-order kayo, minsan medyo mahirap makipag-usap sa kabilang dulo. Pero it's another safety line of safety para din sa ating mga employees to prevent yung saliva natin when we're talking. And also, our government, the IATF is also giving it's like a safety seal on all of the foods service establishments that's guaranteeing the public that this restaurant is following the health and safety protocols that the government is giving, and that you will not be in danger in eating inside or ordering food in the restaurant. And since we're still in the pandemic and pwede rin natin tong gawin kahit na hindi tayo nagtatrabaho sa mga food service restaurants or sa hotel. Pwede natin din tong gawin sa ating personal life. Kahit estudyante pa lang tayo or professionals in other fields, syempre tao pa rin tayo, we need to be safe. So this is some of the tips that we can do also to prevent COVID. Yun nga, wash your hands often. Use hand sanitizers, wear a mask, don't touch your face. Okay. Cover your mouth when you sneeze and cough. Avoid close contact. Use your own supplies, your own things, and clean your electronics. Syempre, and yung pinaka-basic natin na pwedeng gawin to prevent COVID-19 is talagang to wash your hands, since hands natin kung saan humahawak. Syempre hindi natin alam, baka mamaya nakahawak tayo na may affected na COVID-19 pala. And I'm going to share to you a short TikTok video again. This is the updated version of the food service restaurant that's handling amidst the pandemic. Let me share my screen here. Okay, papasok na tayo. Hello, Kuya. Si Manong. As you can see here, may separate lalagyanan ang payments. Na naka-disposable gloves naman ng mga crew natin and face mask. And ang hand washing area natin na may soap. And si manager nagre-remind sa ating crews to wash their hands every 30 minutes to prevent and spread of pathogens in our hands. Okay, 20 seconds daw. And you can see here the crew person is washing between the fingers, the knuckles, and also up to the elbow part. And using hand dryer or pwede rin paper towel. Depende na lang sa establishment kung anong available. And naka-full gear din si crew. Naka-face mask, naka-hairnet. And also covering your mouth when you sneeze, wearing face mask, practicing social distancing. Avoid handshakes, especially ngayon, still we're in the pandemic, kailangan iwasan natin yung shaking hands ng ating makakilala or new friends. And thank you very much. That's the slides, the presentation that I can share to you about food safety practices. I hope yung mga future hoteliers natin, hospitality practitioners ay may makuwang lesson and also tips sa experiences ko before as a manager. And I hope everyone will still listen. We still have more speakers that will help us and give more tips about the hospitality industry habang nasa COVID-19 pandemic tayo. And everyone, I just would like to say na please keep safe and always wash your hands. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Timosa, for sharing your expertise in quality and food safety. And now, for your questions or clarifications, please type it in the chat box or comment section. In the meantime, let's have Ms. Janine Christian Ferrer for the question.
Good afternoon, Mr. Timosa. My question is, how did the COVID-19 virus affect the Food Organization's food safety, considering that there is a potential transmission of the virus via food products? And what measures does food establishments took to prevent this transmission?
Thank you for that question. And for me, since before COVID happened, we in the food industry is already fighting off a lot of pathogens that can give us sickness or give us terrible consequences to our customers. And ever since, we already tried to modify and also be specific with our food safety processes that can eliminate, for example, E. coli or Salmonella in our foods so that our customers will be safe whenever they're consuming our products. Okay? And before COVID happened, our process in the food service industry is like we always wash our hands every hour or often as much as possible. We are using disposable gloves, just like the slides before and my explanation that we're using colored towels, we're using sanitizers and also disinfecting surfaces to keep our food safe from pathogens. And because of COVID-19, and we did not expect this to happen, to become a global pandemic, the changes that COVID-19 did to our food service industry and practices is a more specific and targeted based on our government's health and safety protocols to give us a safe place, a safe space that our workers in the food service industry can still continue to work and also give food products to our customers. For example, just like what I said earlier, we're still doing the hand washing procedure even during COVID or during pandemic right now. It's just that it's been modified to 30 minutes, every 30 minutes that the managers will call out the employees that they need to do hand washing to prevent the spread of pathogens and also COVID, to break the cycle. And we're also using face masks so that we can prevent our saliva. If ever we need to talk with our coworkers, it will not spill in our food. All of our food that we're still handling, it will be still safe. And also social distancing, like 6 feet from each other based from our regulations. And we should always listen to our experts in the medical field and the government who is tasked in assuring and guiding the public on what are the things or the steps that we can do to ensure that the transmission of COVID-19 will be eliminated or reduced. Since we know our industry, the food service section of the hospitality industry, we can adapt and make quick decisions that will ensure the flow of our production and keep the business running. And I hope I answered your question and you get some helpful insights from me that you can use in the future or in our daily lives. Again, thank you very much, and everyone, please stay safe.
Thank you, Mr. Timosa, and to present the Certificate of Appreciation to Mr. John Michael Timosa, please welcome Mr. Jason Maricante from Certificate and Art Committee.
To award the Certificate of Appreciation to Mr. John Michael Timosa, let me read the citation. Philippine Women's University School of Hospitality Management proudly present this Certificate of Appreciation to John Michael Timosa for sharing his time and expertise as the resource speakers for the conference entitled Surviving to Thriving Food Service Industry in the Philippines Amidst the Pandemic. Given this 4th day of March 2022 at the Philippine Women University Taft Avenue, Manila, signed by Dr. Eframuel Jose Abellana, Dean School of Hospitality Management. Again, our pleasure to hear from you.
Do you have any final message for our future industry colleagues before you leave us?
For our future hospitality professionals, please continue to study hard and apply the things that you learned in your college life. Once you are in the real world, we are bound to make mistakes, and in this, you should not be down, but rather accept it as a life lesson that will mold you into a better person professionally, and continue to practice food safety in your laboratories, in your homes, and in your workplace. Thank you very much for this good talk, and keep yourself safe from the ongoing pandemic. Thank you very much.
That was definitely a ton of information. We've already had 2, and there will be 3 more who will generously share their experiences with us.
There's nothing to object about there, Sir JP. The symposium was not expected to be so exciting, and I hope we still have energy for the next three speakers. Let's keep the ball rolling and let's proceed to our third presenter. Let me call on Mr. Lito Bajado Jr., head of the Registration and Evaluation Committee, to welcome our next resource speaker.
Thank you, Ms. Micaela. Our next speaker began working in the food service sector in 2015 as a part-time McDonald's service crew. In the year 2016, he began his internship as a service ambassador intern in the Marriott Cafe, Marriott Manila Hotel, and was hired as a part-time food and beverage attendant for the same outlet of the hotel. He also earned his bachelor degree in hotel and restaurant management in the same year. In 2018, he continued his hotel career in Hilton Hotel Manila as a food and beverage attendant. He was promoted to outlet team leader in 2020, where he was in charge of the pool bar, all-day dining restaurant, banquets and events, and room service. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Roger Ikayan Jr. A big virtual round of applause.
Good day, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me here to be one of your speakers for this webinar. I will be sharing with you my knowledge and my expertise in food service in the hotel operation. By the way, my name is Roger Cortez Ikayan Jr., Food and Beverage Supervisor in Hilton Manila, handling room service, all-day dining, and bar and lounge. My topic is all about food service, provides high-touch services using technology, and in-room dining in the new normal. Without further ado, let's start the discussion. I'll just share my screen. Okay. So it's all about food service provides high-touch services using technologies and in-room dining in the new normal. Well, basically, this is really important for the innovation for the guest experience in the hotel because it's pandemic right now, so we need to innovate all the technologies that we use in our daily operation. The objective of this webinar are the following. The first one is to discuss the high-touch service using technology. The second is to discuss the contactless check-in and clean stay program. And the last is to know the new normal set up for in-room dining in terms of safety protocol, which is include the local policy or the government policy. In the contactless arrival, there are three steps or easy step for the check-in process. The number one is the check-in with ease. Check in by using your Hilton Honors app or in your cell phone. If you don't have, download it by Google Play Store or Apple Store. Number two is choose your room. It's your discretion or your choice. What type of room you want. For example, standard room, balcony, executive room, and governor's suite. Number three is using the Hilton Honors application. You can use to unlock your door with your phone using digital key-in. This is innovation of technology because a digital key is one of the highlights of the staying with a comfort stay and very convenient arrival. For food and beverage side, we have a partnership with these three food couriers. We have this promotion, Bring Hilton Home, that serve takeaway menu and favorite dishes of our guests, which are kare-kare, sisig, pancit canton, and bento boxes items. Last month, we launched the Valentine's Day special offers, heart-to-heart cakes, the Valentine's bundle, the premium and the deluxe. All the information is in the poster already, including the price and selection of food, like the salad, the surf and turf, and then the other cake selection. For ordering system, we have this program wherein generating the order of the guest by scanning the QR code placed in their room. In-room dining service, this is our tracker because it will pop up all the orders on the screen in the column of new. So this is the new. If the guest already processed his or her order by scanning the QR code placed in their room. And then if they go the order already, it will pop up on the screen. And then after the order is coordinated already to the chef, just drag the processing here. And if it's assembled already and ready to pick up by our food and beverage attendant, just drag the order by on the complete side. If the guest received the order, the food and beverage attendant will mark the items fulfilled. We have this kind of clean stay program partnership with Lysol Protection for comfortable stay for our guests. So this is the area wherein we must clean and sanitize because this is the touch point of the guest in their room, which are the switches, the electronic controls, the handles, the knobs, the major bathroom surfaces, the climate control, the panels, the telephones, the remote controls, the clocks, the beddings, bath amenities, uh, hard surfaces, closet, goods, and in-room dining food items like the cutleries, the HOE or the hotel operating equipments like the glassware, the ice bucket, the mini bars, the kettle, and the coffee maker. We make sure that this will be sanitized and clean well and must be coordinated with the housekeeping team as well. In food service or in groom service protocol, for the grooming of our team associate, they must wearing long sleeve, gloves, and face masks whenever they are delivering food orders in the guest rooms or interacting with the guests. Face mask, yes, is necessary, but the face shield is it's necessary as well, but we're not using this anymore. But other properties like other hotels in Metro Manila using this face shield for another protection for our team members, for their team members. Delivering of orders, server must knock 3 times and acknowledge by saying in-room dining service. If no one opened the door or opens the door, call the telephone operator to inform the guest that the server is outside of their doorstep. In our property, the in-room dining is 24/7, but the other property there are a protocol that there must be operated until 12 midnight or 12 or 11 p.m. because of lack of money. But here in our property, the in-room dining is 24/7 for to accommodate the late check-in, like if you're going to go to the airport late, yes, they can accommodate because we are near here in the airport. So basically, there's a lot of late check-in guests because there's a flight by tomorrow morning, etc. Presenting the order, server or the service team shall make use the in-room dining trolley and trays to deliver any items in the room. Trolleys should be presentable and clean. The team members should ensure that the hot pot must be charged and hot. Food must covered and only single-use condiments must be served. We have this hot box. We used to put the food items in the hot box, wherein this is really safety. This is a safety for our guests and ensure that the food is hot. And then for the single-use condiments, yes, we have this ketchup, mayo, butter. We use this one for single use for our guests for their safety as well. Safety precaution, food server or food and beverage attendant should only push the trolley until half of the doorstep and will not allowed to enter the room. This is our protocol for the safety of our guests and for the safety of our guests, for our team member because the room is clean and sanitary for our guests and we make sure they are comfortable and they feel safe And one more thing, the protocol, if the guest is receiving their item, they must have the face mask or the face shield if necessary. Face mask is really important for receiving the food orders. Mode of payment, yes, we receive cash payment. Room service must instruct the guest to place the money inside an envelope and they must slip under their doorway. Room service must inform guests how much is the total bill and prepare for the exact change. If the server will get the money to the envelope, we make sure that they're wearing gloves for their protection and for their safety as well. Credit card transaction, it's the same way with the cash payment. We use gloves for the safety of them. So if the transaction is already done, we replace another gloves for other transaction. For the innovation of technology for mode of payment, we have this partnership with VisaPay, PayMaya, and GCash. If there is a comfort mode of payment that they wanted, like for example for the online payment, yes, we do have this partnership with them, and it's for the convenient for our guests as well. And it's really important to have this QR code to scan for the guests for the payment because it's really important for them to be convenient for their check-in or for billing status for their staying or for their food orders as well. Next is sanitation. Gloves to be changed every after 30 minutes as necessary. White gloves is used by the food and beverage attendant if they're going to serve the orders. Blue gloves is for the chefs if they're preparing food or handling foods. Face mask should be changed every 4 hours or should it required. We have this face mask here in our hotel. We're provided by our HR. Face mask it should be changed every 4 hours for our safety as well. Trolleys must be sanitized every after delivery. Dirty cutleries and tableware should be brought down to stewarding area for the proper sanitation. So it's a three process like the wash, the sanitize, and the wash, rinse, and sanitize. It's really important because right now it's pandemic era, so we must sanitize all the equipments that using by our guests. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something in this webinar, and it's my privilege to share with you my expertise in food service. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ikayan, for sharing us insights in food service, providing high-touch service using technology. In the meantime, I'd like to introduce Ms. Shirley De La Rosa, who will deliver the question.
Hello, Mr. Ikayan. One of our viewers asked this question. In hotel business, what is the importance of innovation in technology?
Generally speaking, the main purpose of innovation is to improve people's lives. When it comes to managing business or hotel business, innovation is key for making any kind of progress. Although your innovation activities aren't necessarily powerful or powerful enough to save the world, you should focus on improving the things you can affect for the convenience of the employees.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ikayan. To present the Certificate of Appreciation to Mr. Ikayan, may I call on Ms. Vanessa Silang from Registration and Evaluation Committee.
To award this Certificate of Appreciation to Mr. Roger C. Ikayan Jr., let me read the citation. Philippine Women's University School of Hospitality Management proudly presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Mr. Roger C. Ikayan Jr. for sharing his time and expertise as the resource speaker for the conference entitled
Surviving to Thriving, Food Service Industry in the Philippines Amidst the Pandemic. Given this 4th day of March 2022 at the Philippine Women's University, Taft Avenue, Manila. Signed by Dr. Eframuel Jose Avellana, Dean School of Hospitality Management. Again, our honor and privilege to have you.
Thank you very much, Miss Vanessa. Once again, a big round of virtual applause to Mr. Roger Ikayan Jr. It's our pleasure to know these things from you, and any last message you can share with the viewers?
My last message for the students that participate to this webinar: life may give you trouble and struggle. It is your chance to turn sorrow into your pleasure. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, think about all the things you can. One failure does not define your capabilities. The race is still on even if you trip once. Believe in your inner potential and take the brave step towards your goal. Remember that every problem is a challenge to prove yourself and a skill to develop. Being a good student is less about the ability to read and more about the desire to learn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ikayan Jr. And now, onto our fourth speaker of the day. Please introduce our guest, Ms. Rose Emma Bansay, Head of Documentation Committee.
Thank you, Sir JP. Our fourth speaker who will tackle food service delivery earned his bachelor's degree in Hotel and Restaurant Management class of 2017, and he had been in hospitality industry for 3 years. He worked at the Belmont Hotel Manila. After that, he worked as an accounting analyst at a microfinance head office in Makati and Hilton Riyadh Hotel and Residences in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Currently working in a newly built restaurant as a cashier and waiter at the Mama's Chicken Kitchens and also a mentor of college working students. Live from Qatar, let's welcome Mr. Arvin Makalalan. Let's give him a virtual round of applause.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, just let me share my screen first. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So, as for the continuation of our webinar, who used to work in the BPO sector here and now working from home? Any professionals from various business districts or schools? Okay, students who are currently enrolled in a virtual class or modules. Okay, so why am I bothering you with these questions? What does this have to do with my conversations this afternoon? Maybe you'll miss out already some foods. Then I will talk about food delivery service this afternoon. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, let me introduce myself first before we proceed. My name is Arvin Makalalad, currently residing in Doha, Qatar, and working as a cashier and waiter in a newly built restaurant. I'm also a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management class 2017. And as part of my job responsibility is to handle the food orders from the applications, from different applications, and that's made me to analyze the importance and the advantage and the disadvantage of ordering or having a food delivery service in restaurants or in customers. Okay, that's why I am here to share with you my perspective with regards to this topic. It's just a short explanation that make you more interested, and also just to remind you about the new normal with regards to food service industry. So, what is this topic? Okay, I'm going to discuss with you the food delivery service during COVID-19 pandemic. We all know that COVID-19 has a significant effect to the whole world, not only in the Philippines. Okay, we are all experienced to stay at home for over a month or a year, or even now we have alert level 1, 2, and 3. All establishments are closed, okay, or limited to people to go outside just to fight against the pandemic. And one of the affected business ventures are the restaurants, okay, the establishments of food service industry. Because all Filipinos are always looking for food to eat outside, right along with their family, friends, loved ones. But because of the currently experienced pandemic, everything was changed. Okay, because our government imposed the temporary closure of food restaurants, or maybe limited consumers, maybe some if uh, some is 50%, 75%, right? Or maybe they are open, but for only takeaways, no dining. So, what is the solution for the problem? We don't want to miss all these foods, right? Then, food delivery service are one way not to miss out new things or new products, new menu, new restaurants. Okay, but before, did we almost not acknowledge the food delivery? No, right? Because of its high cost of service charge. But because you really wanted to eat, you are going to buy online or direct message from the store, visiting their website or any application. When I was a kid, okay, the only delivery I know is when you hear in a commercial, like 7,000, blah, 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 blah. So, di ba, alam na natin kung ano yung fast food na yun. So, magpapa-deliver agad tayo. Anyway, sa mga walang love life, napaka-importante nito kasi you don't have a boyfriend to deliver your food, okay, to treat you, okay? So, for me, it is very important because I am in a long distance relationship. Every month, I want to surprise him. I want to give something new, okay? Just to feel him that I'm still with him. I feel the love, okay? This is very uh, advantage for me to have a food delivery service, okay? I'm just gonna pay them via GCash or bank transfer, okay? Now, food delivery service, of course, there is advantage and disadvantages. And I will tell you that. What are the things to consider if the restaurants want to register their products at any application or food delivery applications? Okay, is it helpful or not? So let's get started. As I have mentioned, with many governments preventing food and beverage establishments from opening their doors to dine in customers, the meal delivery industry is gaining traction with the two potential caveats of consumers wanting to avoid unnecessary expenses during this period of economic uncertainty, and a potential lack of transparency on how food is prepared, notably a lack of hygiene, okay, oversight in the case of third-party delivery platforms. Ordering food online appears to have become a tiny window into the joys of food we had become accustomed prior to lockdown. Okay. Here are some advantages and disadvantages that you might notice also, which common in some restaurants. Okay. But before that, what is food delivery service? It's a cost courier service in which a restaurant or store or independent food delivery company delivers food to a customer. An order is typically made either through a restaurant or grocer's website or mobile application or through a food ordering company. Okay? Maaaring si food delivery or si food restaurant, okay, may sarili siyang website that you can check. Okay? Maybe meron silang mga sariling drivers. Okay? So they can deliver it to you directly. Sa dami na ng mga nagsusulputan ng mga delivery company ngayon, isa na rito, okay, sina Toktok, Mr. Speedy, Happy Move, Jojo, Lala Move, Joyride. We have also Grab Foods. We have also Uber Eats. Okay, marami. There are lots of food delivery company now. And here in Doha, we have Courage Talabat, Rafik and Sunono. We are using here Courage Talabat, Rafik and Sunono, Crave and Foodie, just to serve or to extend our services to our valued customers. Okay. So now, let's move on to the advantage first of the having a food delivery service in our company. Okay. First here, expand your customer space. This is the first and foremost. Okay. Broaden your consumer base. How? As a result, okay, many of our consumers are currently isolated in their houses, okay, unable to live in order to use your services due to lockdowns. You may broaden or extend your services by using meal delivery applications to expand the geographic reach of your product. A restaurant in a commercial, uh, a business district, or in a industrial region, for example, that the majority of its customers are folks who are working nearby. Okay. However, owing to lockdown, some staff are working from home now as part of the government's new normal. Okay. You may opt to prolong your service despite the repercussions in order to um, preserve your services and avoid serious losses in your organizations. You may decide to endure the risk in order to keep the firm alive. With the increased popularity of food delivery and ordering apps, there are more business options for aspiring new restaurants through the usage of meal ordering applications, not only the consumers around the area. Okay. Number two, convenient. The convenience factor comes next. Food delivery services as we all know that employees software to reach your business is very important. Customers can reach whether they are working from home, watching TV, playing games, okay, or simply resting. They may quickly make an order by using the application or website you provide, okay. Ordering meals online, okay, provides customers additional options for the foods they want to eat. We can avoid going out to restaurants, okay, during this COVID-19 pandemic or poor weather by ordering food online. Because Philippines is a tropical country, of course, weather is always there or weather is changing, okay? This epidemic can be detrimental to a restaurant's bottom line. Okay. Customers today frequently opt to stay indoors to escape the COVID-19, and eateries are frequently more empty than normal as a result of lack of customers. The evolution of internet meal delivery services has allowed restaurants and customers to interact even in the face of inclement weather or a pandemic. Restaurants can run a steady business and keep their customers well nourished, except for the delivery driver. Everyone stay dry and happy. You can enjoy your food anytime, anywhere. It's very convenient by using of food delivery applications. Okay. Next, benefits is numerous menu options. If your restaurant is registered with any of the applications, some menu items may not be accessible, okay, for meal delivery. Instead, you'll add certain things to increase the number of possibilities available to customers. So they may order from a variety of selections. And also, it helps you to increase your sales and revenue from different application or sites. You may be able to raise your sales every day if you have a large menu because you satisfy your clients' expectations and desires. Also, to develop a replacement for some goods that we are not ideal, that which is not ideal for the delivery, since they may be easily broken or cause additional bacteria if not consumed immediately. Okay, that is for some instances that we can provide. Okay. Next benefits is various payment options. Okay. Before we are in normal situation, okay, we are paying mostly in cash. Okay, but when different digital platforms came, like for example, we have Gcash, Paymaya, and PayPal, and also you can use bank transfer, or even we can easily pay our orders by linking those application into the specific delivery application. Okay, and by the end of the month or every day, you can check easily the revenue reports. As I've previously stated, I used to surprise my lovers by using various applications. Or I would simply call the restaurants to order delivery for my family. Okay? And I would pay them using digital wallets, such as Gcash and Paymaya. Usually I used to. Okay? But of course, be cautious when ordering through applications, especially when paying online. We are all aware of hackers and scammers, right? So be careful. Don't link your digital wallet in any platforms which is unidentified. Okay, must secure your digital wallet. Okay, as much as possible, huwag kayo maglalagay ng pera kung hindi naman gagamitin agad. Okay? Para hindi ma-hack or makuha yung perang meron kayo. Okay? So last benefit that I'm going to share with you is low-cost advertising or promotion. Before we have to pay the advertisement, or we need to make a tarpaulins every month, or depends if there is enough budget. Now you don't need to do that. That if you are using the application of a delivery company, all you have to do is to remind the customers, maybe by social medias or any platforms. Okay, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, Instagram. That's all free. You can post it by not subscribing by the Facebook ads, right? But it's up to you if you want to boost your post. Because part of the delivery firm commercials and promotions are included already in the package. Okay? It's included already in the package that you choose, or you may save the budget already for advertising, which you can then use this budget in other company needs. You can develop another item that you can place in your applications. You can add in your applications, right? So that is the benefits of food delivery services. Expand your customers base, convenient, numerous menu options, okay? Various payment options, low cost advertising or promotion. So, of course, we have disadvantage. So, unang-una na dyan, data security. It is very important to have a maximum security in every applications. Nowadays, we are facing for the hackers. Sa paglaon kasi ng digital world, ganun din ang mga kawatan. Baka mas magaling pa si scammer or si hacker. Kaya mag-iingat tayo sa mga phishing links or unidentified links, as I have mentioned earlier. Kasi lahat tayo, okay, kapag nakikita natin, click tayo ng click eh. Never click a link that is not from a secure website or directly from the restaurant. It is far preferably to inquire for phone, okay, for their websites, okay, tawagan nyo sila, tanungin nyo sila for the exact website na meron sila. When it comes to hacking accounts, hackers are quite skilled now. Okay? Then as a customers, okay, and user, you should exercise caution while providing sensitive information in any applications. Particularly when integrating your digital wallets, just put money if needed only. Okay? So, kasi minsan nasa huli na yung pagsisisi. Okay? Ako nga, naglalagay lang ako sa digital wallet ko. If needed lang. Okay? So next disadvantage, high commission rate. In the Philippines, I've heard one of the meal delivery service that takes 25 to 30% of the order of each order from the eateries or from the restaurants, it is quite high. It's really high. And then compared to other applications, you may have noticed that you are just working for the delivery company. Soon, manonotice nyo yan. Okay? And not for your own business. You are just working for them. So, for the restaurant owners, what is the remedy for this issue? Some restaurant owners, they modify some menu pricing in comparison to the actual price. Okay? If you dine in at a real restaurant, you may notice ang laki ng pinagkaiba ng price sa actual at sa delivery applications. Okay? Restaurant may still generate revenue by utilizing the outsourcing still the application. Okay? Third one is chances of technical problems in the system. Okay? Remember, we are in a digital world now. We are facing lots of problems when it comes to applications. Maybe there will be technical problems in a week or in a month. So you have to consider enrolling in another delivery company. You may register 3 to 4 applications. So if you are experiencing some issues in other applications, okay, there are still 2 choices that you can use. Okay, so your consumers, they have still 2 options more. Not only 1, but 2. Okay, that can be used by your customers. That is one of the problems kasi. Okay, sometimes it may be maintenance issue or internet issue. Ayan yung madalas na nangyayari. Okay. Number 4, quality of food may suffer. Food may be suffers while on delivery or from the preparation. How? Okay. We use the low quality of packaging sometimes just to keep, okay, para lang kumita tayo ng malaki. We are going to sacrifice the packaging. Okay. If the packaging can moist too much, then maybe the food can be distorted. Like, for example, you order cake online and the driver came into a rough road, okay? And it will be deforms right away, okay? In some hot food items, okay? Like, for example, in soup. You ordered soup, then when the driver hand over it to you, it's only 50% less now. Where is the other 50%? Okay? Natapo na. It's already fall down. Okay? Because there is leakage while transporting it to you. Choose the right quality packaging. So from how you hand over it to the driver, the same appearance will arrive to your customers. Okay? So lastly, competition. Okay? And now last is you are in the application. Your restaurant is not the only one using the applications. There are a lot of restaurants that you can see there. Okay. And maybe the same item, same price, or your item much higher than yours. Maybe 79 yung sayo, 69 yung kabila. The same feedback. Mas maganda pa nga kung tutuusin yung feedback sa kabila. And then, sino yung pipiliin ni consumers? Siyempre, si 69. Mas nakamura. Okay? So you need to change your price or improve your product. Add more items. So your customer has at least other choices in your applications. If you have good feedback from your customers, it can attract also to order your product. But check always the competitors' update. Don't be contented. We have competitor to beat. Actually, not to beat it, but to show your uniqueness. Okay? So that is the advantage, a disadvantage of food delivery service. Okay. So now, what is the advantage of this food delivery service in our customers? Okay. First, okay, sorry. First, as I have mentioned, for those who work from home, it is very convenient for you. Those professional workers who were always in the cafe before, you may now just click away on your phone after adding to the cart and paying online. After a minute, food is in front of your door and ready to eat. Okay? Even if you are taking a shower anywhere, any part of your house, you can order. Even if you are taking in the middle of the night, you can order. It is useful for you, right? No need to get up and go to the restaurant and hassle yourself. Just call and order. That's all. Okay? For PWD, you don't have to get up on your wheelchair or go to the restaurants. Just call them, then they will prepare your food. Okay? Just as simple as that. Okay? Number two, huge variety of food choices. Different varieties of food choices already in different applications. Okay, having a food delivery applications on your phone is very convenient for you. Okay, you just open it and you can choose different restaurants and different menu items. Of course, there are new restaurants and items that you want to try, so add them to your cart and you will not miss out new things outside of your house during the lockdowns, during work from homes. Okay, choose the food that your body craves every day. Okay, that will satisfy you. Okay, next, save time. Isa na rito yung payment method, di ba? It saves time. You're doing your laundry, just for example, okay? You simply believe that you have yet to prepare your lunch, okay? Just hold on a second and order some items in the applications, okay? Then after that, you can keep washing until you finished. Then you're simply going to accept it or receive it and eat it. As a result, you save time and complete your assignments on time. At the same time, that those people who is working at home, okay, they can do their job instantly. Okay. Next, less risk from COVID-19. One factor of ordering online is to lessen the risk of having or getting infected with a disease. But to the driver, okay, just make sure wear your hand gloves and keep the hand sanitizers hand at all times. Okay, hand sanitizer and hand gloves with you all the time. Okay, it is very important. That's why some of the customers or consumers they are ordering in food applications is because they want to avoid those people, okay, para maka-avoid sila sa COVID-19. Okay? Of course, meron din yan disadvantage. Okay? Una-una na dyan, late delivery. Okay? One factor is receive your order late. It may be 1 hour or if worse or more. Okay? As I have received calls every day asking why my order are late, I always answer them back, we already hand over your food to the driver. Maybe he is on the way now. Sorry for the delay. Okay. For those who receives the food late, please be considerate to them. Okay. Maybe the cause of delay are traffic. Alam naman natin sa Pilipinas, napaka-traffic, especially during a rush hour, unexpected event like accident. Kasi meron talagang mga drivers na napaka-reckless. Okay. Weather, lalo na sa Pilipinas, uulan. Siyempre, kapag umulan sa Manila, magpa-flood agad. Okay? Or maybe the rider are taking his break or lunch. Kasi some of the Filipinos, they are always angry to the driver for late delivery. Sabi, why my order is very late? Why still the order is not here? Why? Okay? Not like that. Maging nice tayo sa kanila. Kasi Dahil kasi nasa kainitan din sila, nasa kapirikan din ng araw just to deliver your food, your cravings. Okay? Next is expensive item and delivery charges. Some of the restaurants, they have just adjusted the price of menu item due to its high commission rate of the delivery company. So maybe you have noticed that the price in restaurants, if you dine in and in any applications, are different. That is because of some adjustment, price adjustment, okay? Delivery charges, sometimes 56 to 100, or maybe more than that. Here in Qatar, there is fixed delivery fee, whether nearby location or middle of the desert. It's only 10 riyal. It's very cheap. Okay. Last is problem with the delivery riders may not be trustworthy. Why? Some riders may not be honest. So those who have delivery company hire people with trustworthy and capability to deliver excellent service to the rightful customers. There are some drivers kasi that they are into scamming customers or they are not going to deliver your foods. Or maybe they are going to take some items and eat them before to hand over it to the customers. And for the customers, double check the orders before the driver left your locations. Para naman may chance ka pang may pabalik naman yung pagkain kapag kulang, di ba? Or kaya naman may damage. Okay? So that's all from my side, and I hope you enjoy listening with my discussions. But before that, here are some few tips, okay, to consider by the restaurants before they are going to register their application restaurant in any applications. Unang-una na dyan, create menu that is suitable for takeaways. Okay. Number 2, right packaging but less expensive. Number 3, check the safety of both food and the customer's data. Okay, napaka-importante niyan. Identify the best delivery applications. Okay. Lastly, price menu adjustments. In overall, there are still strong reasons to use the food delivery service today, but there are certain drawbacks that may be controlled. We are still dealing with the epidemic, and the Philippines has a lockdown every month. Pabago, di ba? And it is also for your own benefit to avoid contracting infections from clients or even the driver. But just a reminder to the drivers, again, bring always hand sanitizer with you, okay? So that when you turn over the food items, we can prevent spreading COVID-19 to others. Okay, so that's all I've got from my perspective. I'm sure you're already aware of the benefits and drawbacks of food delivery service for both business and customers. Okay, thank you, and always keep in mind to wash your hands. Okay, avoid touching handrails in the inside the malls. Keep using masks, and have a good day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Makalalad, for sharing your knowledge in food service delivery. Moving forward, questions will now be entertained. Let's have Ms. Shermy Santiago from Registration and Evaluation Committee to ask the question.
Good afternoon, sir. My question is, what safety measures the food service companies do in dealing with scammers for the protection of the delivery agent and their customers? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that very good question. In our delivery company, the safety measures to prevent scammers are when they receive the order from the application, they will verify and call them back to check if the order truly came from that specific customer. Sometimes there are some users who place it in different locations. Following that, as part of the consumer's safety and security, okay, the food delivery company or restaurants may ask for your ID to upload it into the system so that they can easily identify you. Because here in Qatar, we have our national ID used in different transactions, okay, and also our mobile numbers are registered to this ID. But of course, there are some users who are very intelligent at scamming restaurant or drivers instead. what happened before, okay, they placed the order, we received it, and when the driver reached the customer's location to hand over the item, he provoked the driver and didn't pay for the item. And eventually, he canceled the order. Okay? For which the chosen mode of payment was cash on delivery. So the driver calls us and informs us of what happened. And in our part, what we did is we report the number and the customers to different applications and leave a note that if this customer tries to place an order again, we have to call them and ask them for their issue. Also, some applications must have the fingerprint or biometrics in order to ask for an OTP. Okay? Like in a bank application or any digital wallet. Because nowadays, even the most secured applications can be still hacked. And hackers are very professionals at doing that. In the Philippines, ACO Party List filed House Bill number 6958 or the Food and Grocery Delivery Services, okay? And they say that if this becomes a law, anyone found guilty or pranking, scamming, or canceling the order will be fined 6 years in jail and up to 100,000 pesos. As customers, okay, in our part, you have to be aware of any fraudulent links, okay, or phishing links in your email addresses. You have to verify first if the link matches with the authentic website of the restaurant, because we can protect ourselves by from being docked. Okay, so I think I've got all the specific points. So thank you very much for having me here this afternoon. Thank you.
To present the certificate of appreciation to Mr. Arvin Makalalad, may I call on Ms. Archibald Pulangen from Documentation Committee.
To award the certificate of appreciation to Mr. Arvin Makalalad, let me read the citation. Philippine Women's University School of Hospitality Management proudly present the certificate of appreciation to Mr. Arvin Makalalad for sharing his time and expertise, the resource speaker for the conference entitled Surviving to Thriving Food Service in the Philippines Amidst the Pandemic, given this 4th day of March 2022 at the Philippine Women's University, Taft Avenue, Manila. Signed by Dr. Efemuel C. Abiliana, Dean of School of Hospitality Management. Again, our honor and privilege to hear from you.
Thank you, Ms. Archibald. Once again, a big round of virtual applause to Mr. Arvin Makalalad. The pleasure is ours as you partake your time in sharing these insights to us. Any last message you can share with our viewers?
So good afternoon again. Thank you for having me here this afternoon, and thank you also for giving me the time to share with you my perspective regarding with this food delivery service in our situation right now. And I hope you got the points I shared already with you this afternoon. So have a good day, everyone, and keep safe. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Makalala. Now, it's time for our final speaker of the day. Ms. Marnelli Marquez, our finance head, is here to introduce her.
Our last speaker for today will discuss food technology in cruise line. She is a graduate of Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration, major in Management in University of the East, and currently taking her master's degree in Hotel and Restaurant Management. A certified TESTA assessor and trainer, specifically in bartending and ships catering. She is also a certified hospitality industry professional through the Johnson & Wales University in North Miami, Florida. In terms of her professional background, she experienced working under quick service restaurants, fine dining restaurants, 5-star hotel brands here in the Philippines, and on board in different category of ships, from yacht, expedition, ro-ro passenger, and in luxury cruise ships for almost 19 years. As of the moment, she is now also into the franchising business. She is an exotic food and drink enthusiast, an outgoing person who loves to travel, seeks adventures, and really loves dealing with different kinds of people. A big virtual round of applause for Ms. Cecil Filial.
Hi! A pleasant good evening to each and every one of you. First and foremost, I'd like to express my gratitude for your presence. I hope you're all doing well. I may be the last speaker of the day, but I can assure you that my presentation will be brief but loaded with information, and as I will be sharing with you my cruise ship journey as I talk about new food technology in cruise ships. You know what? Aside from hotels, restaurants, and other land-based hospitality businesses, the cruise line industry was also hardly hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, which resulted to dramatic impacts on the entire industry. So they come up with these new technologies that are suited for this pandemic. After all those speakers who talk about the situation of food service in the Philippines, syempre may iba naman tayo, no? I am now here to guide and give you a short tour and let's explore the insights of food service in cruise ship through incorporating modern technology. So, have you ever been in a cruise ship? Anyone? Please allow me to sail and have an enjoyable cruising with you guys. Okay? So let's start to sail. Welcome on board. Let me show you some modern technologies that every big cruise ships have. Okay, from the day one, of course. When all check-ins are all done, contact tracing wearable will be given to each passenger, which is what we call the tracelet. It aids in quickly determining potential risk cases on board should a COVID outbreak occur. And the next is the WOW band. What is all the information na binigay upon the check-in are already in the WOW band, which costly almost $5. This is a contactless transaction, so there's no need to use the CPAS or the VIN card to open the door or to buy something on board like beverages, or you want to pay something, no, like merchandise. You just top up your WOW band. Okay? Then, of course, diba, pinag-uusapan natin dito is yung food service. So, before you dine in sa restaurants, we, from the restaurant personnel, we use a QR code menu for, of course, again, contactless transaction. Before, nagma-manual taking of orders kami, di ba? You ask the customer or the guest or the passengers what they like to order. So, isusulat namin yon manually. But now, most of the ships are now using QR code menu. All the passengers must have the QR scanner on their phone to scan the menu. As you can see on the slide, as they scan the code, yes, there are different languages to choose from and different meal program. Like from breakfast up to dinner, it is placed on the top of each dining table for everybody's access. Okay, so yan, exciting, di ba? Next natin is yung robot bartender. What if we have a human robot which is considered as a crew on board? Yes, and here is Rob. His name is Rob, our first humanoid robotic bartender. You can ask any drinks from him, even cocktail. He can speak an impressive 8 languages: English, Italian, Spanish, French, German, Portuguese, Chinese, and Japanese, according to the language chosen when the guest makes the order. He uses his LED face to express emotion that guests can enjoy his performance while they sip on their cocktail. Okay? There are also other robot bartenders in the cruise ship. I will show you some videos of those. Wow.
Bartender. Today the bar looks pretty busy, but I am a skilled bartender, so you are in good hands. Do you like my glasses? They're made from a special combination of planetary sands.
He's making this drink.
Just one more thing. Place your cruise card on the reader, and you're good to go.
Thanks, Rob. Cheers, Rob.
One of the best drinks in the galaxy.
Di ba ang galing ano po? Very high-tech na talaga ang mga cruise ships nowadays. And wait, there's more, no? Let's all relax our eyes and feel the new technology on board. Let's all experience more new leisure on board. Okay, and by this time again, in our food service, I will show you one amazing technology on board, which is the virtual reality dining. It's likely in every bite, your surroundings will change. Bago to sa I think hindi naman karamihan no ng cruise ship nowadays are using this. So I think a few, like 3 or 4 cruise ships are using this. So enjoy this. Watch this slide.
Okay. It's green and sparkly.
Dining in virtual reality is pretty trippy.
It's tingly in my mouth. This is magical.
And this experience is one of the many high-tech enhancements coming to future cruise vacations with Royal Caribbean. The cruise line invited us to Brooklyn, New York to show off what technology wonders the company is cooking up for guests. You won't be having a 4-course meal in VR, but a few minutes with some dessert bites can be a fun way to play with your senses. Using an HTC Vive headset, I was able to see my hands animated in the virtual world. And when it was time to pick up a new bite to eat...
Is it warm? Oh! The whole room just disappeared.
And with every bite, the room transformed.
That was a hoot.
The company also wants to play with your senses in the stateroom. In this concept cabin, screens bring windowless space to life, complete with a fake balcony. Wake up to a sunrise and watch the room transform around you. find tranquility in a rainforest where water dripping from the palms above falls to the floor. And who wouldn't want to sleep under a starry night sky, complete with moonlight reflecting off the ocean water below? It's only a concept for now, but elements of this technology may find their way in the company's next ship.
Okay, that's good, no? Really amazing. At talagang nakaka-attract siya, no? For the passengers to come on board again. Kasi, di ba, pag nagda-dine-in ka sa restaurants, di ba, hindi ka maboboard. Talagang andito ang bagong technology to offer. So, let's breathe, guys. Inhale, exhale. So, okay po ba kayo? How do you feel? So, gusto syempre, though, everybody likes to experience all this new and modern technology on board the ship. Diba? Nakaka-amaze. But before that, of course, we are very excited to sail on board. Na-excite tayo, di ba? But how about our health and safety on board? Are we safe? So I will show you again another video. No? Let's watch this video and let us all be safe. So before we end up our short ship tour, let's have a last look as you join me to sail and explore insides of the cruise ships.
Silent prayers, open sky. Together we go, wild frontier, morning light, and all that follows. In the sun, in the storm, it's all or nothing. Here with you, I'm so sure we're on to something. Running to the night, you and me, looking up, and now we see the world that waits to be discovered. Every moment filled with wonder. Oh, we know what we were meant for. This great adventure.
very amazing, no? And na-enjoy na, no? Nakaka-enjoy and nakaka-excite to be on board. So, thank you for joining me as we sail again to a new adventure. Let's explore, guys. See you next time.
Thank you very much, Ms. Tuliao, for sharing your knowledge in food technology in cruise line. Moving forward, questions will now be entertained. Ms. Mary Daniel Gillian, take it away.
Thank you, Ms. Micaela, and good evening, Ms. Cecil. Here's the question. Given the experiences and knowledgeable topics cited from your speech, what do you think is the needed attitude or your takeaway wisdom to be successful in the cruise line industry?
Yes, thank you for that question. For me, attitude, being customer service oriented. If you strive to have this quality, everything else will follow. Empathy, patience, going on an extra mile, and dedication to work. And advice lang din for the future hospitality students, especially ito yung mga participants natin, mga viewers, who wants to pursue their career in cruise line industry. It's like hitting two birds in one stone. You have a job with a high salary, and at the same time, to travel around the world. At first, when I was still young, no? When I was started, I was attracted by the salary rate without knowing that the work is not that easy. Really, it's not that easy. But with every itinerary in my contract, I really get excited as it gave me an opportunity to visit different countries. Yun nga, no? Sabi ko nga, around the world that I only see from the books and postcards. Those were the things that give me motivation in order to strive hard in this career. Just love and enjoy your job. Okay, thank you, and that's it.
To present the Certificate of Appreciation to Ms. Cecil Tuliao, may I call on Ms. Nuriel Dehamo Ipil from Finance Committee.
Magandang araw, mabuhay! To award the Certificate of Appreciation to Ms. Cecil Tuliao, let me read the citation. Philippine Women's University School of Hospitality Management proudly present the Certificate of Appreciation to Ms. Cecil Tuliao for sharing her time and expertise as the resource speaker for the conference entitled Surviving to Thriving Food Service Industry in the Philippines Amidst the Pandemic, given this 4th day of March 2022 at the Philippine Women's University, Taft Avenue, Manila. Signed by Dr. Efraim Jose Abellana, Dean, School of Hospitality Management. It's a pleasure and a delight to have you today.
Thank you, Ms. Nuriel. Ms. Cecil Tuliao deserves another round of virtual applause. We appreciate your time to share your journey on cruise ships with us today. Is there anything else you'd like to convey to the audience?
Well, I'm so grateful to partake in this event. And thank you for all the organizers, and thank you for all the viewers or participants and taking the time to patiently listen to what I had to say. I wish all of you a blessed day and I hope to sail with you guys soon. Okay, so bye!
Thank you, Ms. Tuliao, and to all our speakers. We are truly grateful to have you here and share everything you know with us. To wrap up today's conference, let me call on Ms. Clarizel Halili of our documentation team for our synthesis.
Good afternoon, everyone. Allow us to extend our deepest gratitude to our dear resource speakers for sharing their knowledge and expertise about food service industry in the Philippines amidst the pandemic. We have an encouraging welcome remark coming from our very own Dean of School of Hospitality Management, Dr. Efraim Jose Abellana. We are very grateful for your unending support and guidance. We are also showered by the presence of our President, Mr. Marco Alfredo Benitez. Thank you, sir, for your time. To summarize the topics shared by our speakers, let me start with Mr. Mark Anthony Iglico, a university faculty. In his talk on the Philippines food industry coping up with the COVID-19 pandemic, logically reaffirmed the full overview of the Philippine situation of the country in terms of food and beverage business, It allows us to see the present and the future of the Philippines food service industry and how the people in the industry strive and continually thrive amidst the pandemic. This was followed by an insightful discussion given by Mr. John Michael Timosa, former fast food manager, about quality and food safety practices before and during pandemic. We've learned a lot from him about his food safety experiences and knowledge. He provided examples of real-life scenarios that occur in the daily operation. We absolutely agree that practicing food safety in the production sector of our profession, using it in our college laboratory studies, and even in our daily life is critical. He hopes that our future hoteliers will apply what they have learned from him to their daily lives, allowing us to all exercise health and safety measures while we are still in the grip of the COVID-19 pandemic. We then had a very informative discussion with Mr. Roger Ikayan Jr., a food and beverage supervisor and food service providing high-touch services using technology. His exceptional experience working in one of the leading global hospitality company brought us a glimpse of what a world-class hotel has to offer. Staging a successful post-virus comeback placed an emphasis on programs such as its Hilton Clean Stay program and contactless check-in, additional training for team members on the latest health and safety protocols, and new approaches to in-room dining. He was able to share in-depth facts as well as the importance of having a digital point of contact for a hotel in these unprecedented times, placing all communication and tools in one hub that enables the business to improve agility, productivity, and most importantly, ensure safety, bringing an industry-defining standard of cleanliness to hotels worldwide. Mr. Arvin Macalalad, the fourth speaker, has been in the hospitality industry for 3 years and has worked in prestigious hotels in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Currently working as a cashier and waiter in a newly built restaurant, he brought us the critical need for food delivery services during the current COVID-19 pandemic. Most of us are instructed to stay at home. The need for food delivery and any other essential is noticeably arising. We all know that food delivery personnel are frontliners that have more exposure to the virus. Mr. Macalalad's topic is timely as it is intended to help limit hazards and exposure while ensuring people's food cravings and needs are sustained. On the surface, food delivery appears to be a win-win situation for both the customer and the business. But this seemingly ideal scenario is not without flaws. Based on the analysis fueled by his relevant work experience handling restaurant food delivery services, he was able to prove the stark reality that consumers should be more conscious in ordering the food by using digital platforms. Finally, for the last presentation, Ms. Cecil Tulyao on food technology in cruise lines, there's only one word that can possibly sum up our adventure with her in her talk. Wow! From automated bartenders to advanced technologies such as QR code, virtual reality dining, and wall band which can be used to enter stateroom, purchase beverages, merchandise, and anything else the ship sells is fundamentally impacting food service operations at sea. She explored the implications of integrating this into frontline facilities as well as how major cruise lines have incorporated cutting-edge technology to dazzle clients, assist with serving, and train workers, and the impact on the rapidly changing industry. We hope that everyone has learned a lot this afternoon from this conference entitled Surviving to Thriving Food Service Industry in the Philippines Amidst the Pandemic, here at the Philippine Women's University, organized by the Master of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management. Despite the fact that it was a brief event, we learned a lot from our guests that will be useful as we move forward. I'll end the synthesis by encouraging future hotelier, restaurateur, chefs, and managers that the hospitality and tourism industry will open many opportunities today and in the future, and that what we are experiencing right now will come to pass. And we should look forward to a better and brighter food service industry as we strive and thrive.
Thank you, Ms. Clarisol, for wrapping up our today's discussion. Let us proceed in awarding these special people who made this event possible. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present certificates of recognition to the organizers of Surviving to Thriving 2022.
I would like to present the Certificate of Recognition to everyone who made this conference possible. Philippine Women's University School of Hospitality Management presents this Certificate of Recognition to our webinar organizers for your outstanding contribution as an event organizer for the webinar entitled Surviving to Thriving Food Service Industry in the Philippines Amidst the Pandemic. Given this 4th day of March 2022, the Philippine Women's University Taft Avenue, Manila, signed by Ms. Katrina Beatriz Mendoza, Conference Chairperson, Ms. Queenie Rose Amora, Conference Co-Chair, and Dr. Eframuel Jose Abellana, Dean, School of Hospitality Management. And now, may I present to you the Conference Chairperson, Ms. Katrina Beatriz Mendoza, and Co-Chairperson, Ms. Queenie Amora. Our Registration Evaluation Committee, headed by Mr. Lito Bahado Jr., our Documentation Committee, headed by Ms. Rose Ann Mabansay, our Finance Committee, headed by Ms. Marnelli Marquez, our Technology or Technical Committee, headed by Ms. Hazelin Lauyan, our Certificate in Art Card Committee, headed by Mr. Ryan Alonzo, and lastly, Program Committee, headed by yours truly. Of course, this wouldn't be all possible without the help and guidance of our professor, Dr. Eframuel Jose Abellana, Dean of School of Hospitality Management. Again, congratulations.
Congratulations to your partner and congratulations to all our organizers. This is such a collaborative effort of everyone. And to give you a closing remarks, please hear it from our conference chairperson, Ms. Katrina Beatriz Mendoza.
And now we have come to an end for this webinar. It has been fruitful hours learning with you, our distinguished guests. We would like to extend our gratitude to Mr. Mark Anthony Enrico, Mr. John Michael Simosa, Mr. Roger Ikayan, Mr. Arvin Macalalad, and Ms. Cecil Tuliao. Your expertise will help our fellow and future industry practitioners. You once again showed everyone that amidst the pandemic, Philippine food service industry continues to survive to thrive for better days. I would also like to extend our gratitude to our school president, Mr. Marco Alfredo Benitez, our cluster dean for School of Hospitality Management and Professor, Dr. Eframuel Jose Abellana. You, sir, made a great impact on each and every one of us. Without your support and motivation, this wouldn't be possible at all. Again, thank you very much, sir. And to our fellow and future professionals who stayed with us until this end, you guys are the best. We hope we were able to show you how the Philippine food service industry really thrived amidst this pandemic. And we hope this conference brought back the fire in your hearts to keep faith in our industry. As the saying goes, this too shall pass. Let's keep on driving forward. And to my fellow classmates, this webinar was not that easy to create, as we are currently facing a pandemic that hinders us to work physically and meet with each other. But with mere dedication and passion towards our dreams, I can say we have done this successfully in the comforts of our home and through our screens. This proves that nothing is impossible when you put your mind and heart into it. Remember, you are meant to thrive, not just to survive. Keep faith till our better days are here. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you very much to our chairperson, Ms. Kat, and congratulations to our organizers for a job well done. Without each other's help and support, this wouldn't be possible at all. Thank you for everyone's effort.
To our University President, Mr. Marco Alfredo Benitez, Graduate School Director, Dr. Emerita Zornosa, Dean of School of Hospitality Management, and Dr. Eframuel Abellana, thank you so much. Again, to our participants, you may now answer the evaluation form to claim your respective e-certificates. QR code will now be posted. This ends the webinar brought to you by Food Service Organization Class of 2022. And now, let's hear the hymn of the Philippine Women's University.